Hi guys, so welcome back to Melanie On Demand. In today's video, we have a very controversial topic. For those of you who are starting their student to PR pathway of immigration here in Canada, I'm pretty sure that at one point in time, you've already asked yourself this question. Should you hire an agency to process your application, or should you just do it yourself? In this video, I will help you answer that question so that your application will get the best chance of approval. Let's begin. I want to start this video by thanking all of you guys. Thank you very much for supporting my channel and for appreciating all the videos that I upload here in YouTube. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much for all your heartwarming comments. I want to give a special shout out to my high school classmates from across the miles in the Philippines and in the UK. As a birthday gift, they gave me this awesome ring light and microphone setup. And now guys, I can make better quality videos for you. Thank you very much, Ronald, Christine, Philip, and Joanne for supporting Melanie On Demand. And of course, to my amazing husband, Louis, for always having my back. Love you all, guys. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I am Melanie, and I make videos for all of you dreamers out there who are planning to start their international student to permanent residence journey here in Canada. I made a video series called Canada Study Permit Application, wherein I discuss the process in detail so that you'll have an idea on how to approach your application should you decide to do it yourself. And today's video still belongs to Part 1, Pre-Application Self-Assessment. So Part 1 consisted of 5 videos and I've already completed 4 of them, sections 1 to 4. I will link them down in the description box below. Make sure you check them out. And today's video is section 5, Agency versus DIY. An important part of the pre-application self-assessment is to decide whether or not you should hire an agent for your application or you want to just do it yourself or the DIY process. Both options have their pros and their cons that you should think about. In this video, I will present to you my own point of view and why I personally chose to follow DIY process. Here in my channel, I encourage everyone to learn about the process so that you can proceed with your application DIY style. However, I do recognize that DIY process is not for everybody. Sometimes it can actually do more harm than good. Depending on your current situation, on your personality, or your attention to detail, you should decide whether you can endure the process of DIY or maybe it is better to seek professional help for your application. In order to help you decide, we have to examine closely both sides of the coin, agency versus DIY. First, let's clarify one more thing. In applying for study permit, open work permit, or permanent residence, can you just apply by yourself or do you need an agent to apply for you? Let's look at the CIC website Help Center to answer this question. Do I need a representative to help me apply? The answer is explicitly posted here. It says no. The Government of Canada treats everyone equally whether they use a representative or not. Meaning, even if you decide to DIY or seek professional help, your application is treated the same way. To drill this down even more, here is another question. Will my case be processed more quickly if I hire a representative? The answer is a resounding no. If you hire a representative, the citizenship or immigration officer will not give your application special attention. Take note of this. Your representative also cannot guarantee that your application will be approved. In the eyes of IRCC, all applicants are treated equally. Your approval will be based on the documents submitted to IRCC. How accurate are those documents? Were they submitted in a timely manner? Did you sign and submit all required and supplementary documents that will support your application? Those things are very important to get a high chance of approval. Now that it is clear that you can apply either way, let's look into the first option, seeking for professional help, or to simply put it, hire an agency to process your application. If you are seeking for the help of a professional to process your application, whom you are willing to pay for the services they will provide you, the very first thing that you have to make sure is whether or not you are dealing with an authorized paid representative. This page in CIC website lists down the professions who are allowed to be your authorized representative. So it can be lawyers and paralegals of good standing based on this website, or notaries of good standing for Quebec, or citizenship or immigration consultants who are members in good standing of the ICCRC, or Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council. These consultants are also called RCIC, or Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant. This part is very important. If you use an unauthorized representative in Canada or abroad, we may return your application or refuse it. So you see, your application will be red flagged if you hire a representative that is not authorized. That's how serious it is. That is why in all my videos, I always have a disclaimer. I want to make sure that you understand that the content that I'm sharing here is only for information purposes, not for legal ones, because I'm not licensed to do so. I also cannot advise you with your situation, but I can share my opinion and the decision is totally up to you. Now, let's see how to check if the consultant you are dealing with is registered or not. So let's click this website, which will lead us to the homepage of ICCRC. There is a database that can be accessed by anyone for this purpose. Click Learn More. This is a public register that is being maintained by ICCRC and is a reliable source of information to check if the immigration consultant status is valid or not. Let's say, for example, you are recommended by your friend to this agency, Abayan Immigration Services. Just a disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by this agency. This is just for example purposes. This agent is claiming to be registered with ICCRC logo and RCIC number indicated in his advertisement. Let's use the ICCRC website to verify. In this database, you can search using any of these keywords. So we can try to find his first and last name, type Abayan Glacerio, and then hit search. If he is indeed registered with ICCRC, the result will be displayed at the bottom part with his name, current status, which is active, contact information, and the consultant ID. So, since he is here in the public register, you are safe to use this consultant as a representative for your application to Canada. If you decide to hire an immigration lawyer, you can verify their status using the respective provincial websites as listed here. You might be asking yourself, if both consultants and lawyers are allowed to be my representative, who should I choose? Yes, both of them can be your representative. However, in some complicated cases that require a representation in the federal court, only an immigration lawyer can represent you. At the most, immigration consultant can only go up to the appeal tribunal level where there is an issue with your application. That being said, oftentimes, not all the time, immigration lawyers charge more than immigration consultants. So the answer is totally based on your personal situation. Is your application straightforward? You might be better off with an immigration consultant. If you'll need further assistance, you can always seek an immigration lawyer for that. Or if you want to hire a lawyer from the start, that will also be a good idea. It's really up to you. After checking that the representative is authorized by ICCRC, do your search about their credibility, whether online or through previous clients. You should take note that being registered is only one part of the equation. The consultant or lawyer's experience in the immigration field or his or her ability to communicate to you as a client are also important factors. Even though they are authorized, they can still overpromise and underdeliver. They will lie and tell unbelievable, amazing stories just to get your business. The moment they get your money, they will stop replying your emails or calls. That's why documentation is very important. Make sure you document all your transactions, and if you encounter this problem, you can always lodge a complaint with evidence included. In the end, it is up to you as a client to do a thorough research if the representative is worth your money. Another tip, it is important that you are dealing with the RCIC themselves, meaning you are seeking immigration advice from that authorized representative, not their agent, not their lead hand, or any other staff from that consultancy firm. Their staff can assist you, but they cannot do the following: advise you on which program to apply for, complete or update your application as you, or act as you when dealing with IRCC. These were quoted straight from the CIC website, so please do take note of this. This can easily be overlooked if you're planning to hire a big consultancy firm. For a big company, they have a lot of staffs, and usually when you first talk to them, you will be referred to someone else, not the RCIC. I have experienced this myself, so they asked me for a certain amount of money for the initial screening, only to find out that I was gonna talk to the senior staff, not the RCIC, and not even a registered agent. So yes, the process was explained to me in detail, but because there is too much information, I had an information overload. I didn't really understand it at first. So I went home, read about it, and I came up with questions, and I asked them for another meetup. And they told me I need to engage with their services or to pay another fee in order to talk to them again. When I asked who is their RCIC or their authorized representative, they told me that that person is in Canada, and all the applications will be reviewed by that person before submission to the immigration. Well, that could be true, or there's a chance that that could be false as well. Looking back at that scenario, I was kind of dumb, but yeah, it happened to me as well. So I hope you learn from my experience so that it will not happen to you again. And if you're watching right now, did you ever have a bad experience with agencies? Can you please share it in the comment section below so that all of us can learn from your experience? So my advice, if you can find an agency wherein you can talk to the authorized representative themselves, meaning you can discuss the process with them, you can follow up with them, you can talk to them about your goals, that's the best, because they can look into your application personally and they can advise you the best pathway that you can take for immigration based on their expertise. Other important things to consider when hiring a representative. First, verify the RCIC's contact information. Please do not use the contact details that was given to you. If that RCIC or agency is a business entity, you should be able to find their contact details on the internet. Check their website, or you can go to their office location if that's a possibility. Call the phone number and ask to be connected to that immigration consultant. There is a chance that the agency is not connected to that consultant. Maybe it is just using that consultant's name for publicity's sake to attract clients. Going back to the ICCRC public register, you can find the direct email address and phone number of that RCIC. You can use that information for verification. Next, Don't be so gullible when you attend seminars hosted by an agency. They will overpromise and sometimes with fake evidences. They will ask someone who was successful in that journey to talk about their experiences. For all you know, that person is just an accessory to the crime. Attending open sessions are good because you will somehow learn something from there. Keep an open mind, but don't pay them up front, please. Go home and think about it first. Disclaimer, this is not the same situation for all cases, okay? Next is a big one. If they ask you to falsify your documents just to enhance your chances of being approved, run away from that consultant as soon as possible. Licensed consultants won't ask you to do stupid things like that. They won't put their registration on the line. Only the crooked ones will do this. If Canada government proved that you misrepresented yourself in your application, whether it is a mutual agreement with the agency or not, you are gonna take the hit, not them. Remember, it's your future that is at stake here. Document fraud is a serious offense. If you see here, false documents can cause application refusal and you will be banned in Canada for at least 5 years. Also, your fraud case will be permanently recorded so it can affect your future application. Don't ever lie on your application. Just don't. It's not worth it. And for those who are already engaged with an agency right now, make sure that you have the copies of all the documents that the agency will submit on your behalf. Photocopy the forms if your application is paper-based. Get a PDF copy of the documents that will be submitted online. Ask them for screenshots of your online document checklist and your answers to the online questionnaires. Do this as your backup plan in case things will not work out with this agency. Remember, this is your right as a client. Don't take no as an answer from them. Bonus tip. Remember the ICCRC website that I showed you? They actually have a phone app, which is kind of neat. Just scan this QR code and download the app. I'll show you quickly what's inside the application. So this is how the icon looks like, and this is the home page. This app is available in 2 languages, English and French, and there's a welcome video here. Press enter the app. The first tab here is about fraud prevention. 20 tips on how to prevent immigration fraud. This is exactly what I was talking about a while ago. Make sure you read through this page. The tips here are on point and applicable to anyone in search for an authorized representative. Let's quickly scroll down to see the content. Tips 1 and 2 here talk about RCIC status. Tips 3 to 7 are about having a properly signed contract or a retainer agreement between you and the consultant. Tips 8, 9, and 10 are about payment. Tip 11 is about identifying the status of the person offering your immigration services, just like what we discussed above. Tips 12 to 15 discuss about false guarantees, and 16 to 20 talk about the credibility of the representative. There's also this consumer guide, questions to ask your immigration consultant. These are reasonable questions that will help you assess their credibility should you decide to have that first meeting. Remember, before you come to your first consultation, be prepared with at least the basic information about your pathway, probably your CRS score, so you will not be easily fooled by them. You can ask intelligent questions about your situation. And if they cannot answer you appropriately, they probably don't deserve your money. There's also a tab for complaints. You can use this to file a complaint about the bogus consultant that you encountered or that authorized consultant who's not doing what they're supposed to do based on your contract. The Find Consultant tab is also here. Let's try to search here. So let's type his surname and his first name. Search. Yes, it works. And finally, a page for contacting ICCRC for any concerns that you may have. I could go on and on about this topic, but I hope you get the idea. There are good and reputable immigration consultants and lawyers out there for sure they can help you with your application. However, there are lots of fake ones. Those swindlers who thrive on the ignorance of people and who operate based on greed. Try your best to spot the difference and make sure that you're guaranteed maximum returns on the money you paid for. Now that we've seen how to properly choose your authorized representative, let's proceed to the second option, do it yourself or the DIY process.